Going back from where we are now to where it originated from, Ken and Chris first met probably, it's got to be 20 plus years ago, and they saw there was a market for springs for motorcycles in the UK, and from that they got their first £1,000 order of springs together, and then from that, that's where K-Tech started. Between all of that has been World Supersport Championships won, British Superbike titles won, British motocross titles. It's been a very long process, but to where we are now, it's a big step forward from where it all started.
Fundamentally, the job of a shock absorber is to damp vibrations in the system. And it does this by pushing a piston through oil or pushing a solid piston to move the oil through a piston. It can be done in various ways.
We work really closely with K-Tech, and having that connection is super important, especially with your engineer that you're assigned. What you feel through the shock and the suspension is what you get the feedback and gives you the confidence. So what I feel in the K-Tech is it talks to me, it tells me exactly what's underneath me, and it gives me the confidence to push to the maximum.
The tracks are so different across the whole calendar. We're not really keeping the bike in that one sort of spot all year. We are changing it quite drastically, ride height, suspension, springs, everywhere we go. It is so important to have the right tools underneath you.
Most conventional shock absorbers, you've just got the rod that goes in one end. That has to displace a volume, and that creates a lot of rod force, and that can heat up the oil, and if you don't use the correct components in terms of the bushes and stuff, it all heats up and gets hotter. As the oil heats up, its characteristics change. How your shock absorber feels on the bike will change through a race. You can, to a degree, ride around, but if it's not done well, it can be pretty catastrophic, and you can lose some serious time with that, and not only time, but it can affect other systems on the bike as well.
The TRDS has been a great thing for us because it's been a nice project for the whole company to be involved in. We've taken suspension designs and we've really brought it out and really come up with something quite special in the fact that it's so universal in its fitments, and we're not going to stop just at road bikes. There is plans to broad out on that.
For them to listen to our feedback and understand what we need, understand what the rider needs, what the bike needs, and K-Tech are absolutely amazing at that.
At the Isleman TT, where you're switching between multiple bikes, having the same suspension, the through-rod K-Tech suspension in both bikes is super important, because we always try and make both bikes as similar to each other as possible. So when you're jumping from one to the other, you take a little bit less time to adjust from one to the other.
You don't get the pressure increase that you do with a standard shock absorber, which means it's going to heat up less.
The shock's a really important part of the bike. I think it's been a new shock that's been developed 2 years now. It's been amazing. It can take everything that's thrown at it around here at Alton or on a flat track, say like Silverstone or Snetterton. It gives you a perfect feeling what's going on with the rear tyre. Once you have it, you can't live without it either, so no, it does feel real good.
The three-rod shock's been an amazing performing piece of kit. We put that straight onto the V2, and development was strong, so without K-Tech we'd still be working on a lot of the base settings to get this bike right.
The 6-lap race around the TT, the feeling doesn't change with heat build-up and temperature build-up in the shock. The TT is a challenge for not only the rider but the machinery and the components on the bike as well. It's so tough, so bumpy, there's jumps all around the course. It has to deal with something above and beyond any other race or any other circuit that we do.
Being lucky enough to use the through-rod technology that K-Tech have made has been, what do I say, next level. The changes that you have to make is very minimal because it's such a good product.
With the through-rod product that we've got, both the forks and the shock, it's the same product as what the factory guys have got to what you'd be buying. The benefits, it's unbelievable. Once you get it in and use it, you understand why it's the product to have.